Okay, so this is the part where I tell you something about the pronunciation of Danish. And we've been talking about phrasal verbs, or verbs that consist of more than one verb. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that now, but also about pronouns. So let's start with that sentence we started off with. Jeg giver aldrig slip. So normally the pronunciation of that would be jeg giver aldrig slip. Jeg giver aldrig slip. So we always have to distinguish between the naturally occurring pronunciation and the sort of teacher Danish that I sometimes use to make things more clear. So jeg giver aldrig slip is carefully articulated and has more stresses than we would usually have. So the regular pronunciation of that sentence is jeg giver aldrig slip, with stress only on aldrig and slip. So this means two things. We usually do not stress pronouns. So that's the most important thing to remember from all of this, that pronouns are usually not stressed. We're going to get back to that in a minute. And the other thing is that if you have these verbs that have another little word at the end, you only have stress on that part. So not on giver, but on slip. Jeg giver aldrig slip. So the stress is sort of moved onto that final word of the sentence. That was this one we've been talking about. So to contrast this, you could say Maria giver aldrig slip. So now we have Maria, and names are stressed. So you can contrast jeg giver aldrig slip with Maria giver aldrig slip. So now we have three stresses in the sentence. Maria giver aldrig slip, because you also have to stress Maria because it's a name. Another sentence where we can remove aldrig to make things more clear. So if we remove the adverb aldrig, which means never, jeg giver slip, that's this one over here, jeg giver slip, you still only have stress on slip, which is that second word of to let go. Jeg giver slip. As opposed to if you had again Maria giver slip, Maria giver slip, now you have stress on Maria and you have a stress on slip. So Maria is letting go, or Maria lets go. Maria giver slip. Now, let's take another example. Just a verb that's only one word. So hjælper means helping or helps or will help. Just to show you the point about that I was making about stress on pronouns, or rather no stress on pronouns, right? So I'm helping you. Jeg hjælper dig. Jeg hjælper dig. Now notice that you do have the stress on the verb here because it's just one word, but no stress on I and no stress on you. I'm helping you. Jeg hjælper dig. Now contrast this with Peter is helping Maria. Peter hjælper Maria. Now you have a stress on all of those words. And the same thing if we reverse the persons here. So du hjælper mig. You are helping me. Du hjælper mig. Same thing again. And Maria hjælper Peter. Now we could do a combination. Maria hjælper mig. So again you have the stress on Maria. You have the stress on hjælper, but not on me. Maria hjælper mig. Another category that needs stress is nouns in sentences like this. So the doctor is helping the patient, or the doctor will help the patient. Lægen hjælper patienten. Lægen hjælper patienten. So you have to stress each of these words because two of them are nouns, and then one in the middle is the verb that needs the stress as well. Now, let's take some of these other phrasal verbs that we talked about earlier. So for instance, I'm relaxing. Jeg slapper af. And now you only have the stress on that final word, because the first one is a pronoun that we don't stress, and the second one is that verb made up of two words, and we only stress the final one. Jeg slapper af. Jeg slapper af. So only stress on A. Now if that was Tobias slapper af, you get the stress on Tobias because it's a name, and on a, like before. And if we were to add the adverb aldrig here to the sentence, Tobias slapper aldrig af. Same thing, only with stress on aldrig, because we do stress adverbs. Now with another example of a verb like this, you're tidying up. Du rydder op. Du rydder op. Again, we only have stress on the final word. Du rydder aldrig op. Just like before. You don't get stress on the pronoun or that first part of the verb, but we do on the adverb and on the final word there. Mathias rydder altid op. Just like we would expect, stress on the name. Vi står op means we're getting up, right? Vi står op. Vi står tidligt op. We get up early, or we're gonna get up early. Vi står tidligt op. And then one final example with two adverbs. Vi står altid tidligt op. We always get up early. You have the stress on altid, tidligt, and up, because we stress the two adverbs, always early, and the final word up. Vi står altid tidligt op. So these were some of the combinations that you can have. Obviously, there's a lot more to be said about these things, but this is an overview. And the most important points here are that you don't stress pronouns, and we only stress the final part of a phrasal verb.